Welcome to Daily News Analysis by Tathastu ICS. I am Manisha Armugam, here to discuss the Hindu newspaper for the day 24th January 2026. Good evening, Nikhil. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so let's get into the session. Before that, good evening. Before that, you can get this PDF in the description box, as well as you can scan our QR code and you can get this PDF in our Telegram channel also on a regular basis. Okay, so today we will see important news. Okay, so the first one is right to dignity. This is the editorial based on the working conditions and the recent conditions of ASHA workers and also Anganwadi workers. Okay, so what is their working conditions right now? What are all the mandates that these voluntary scheme people are having? Okay, and right now they are going through a protest. We will see what are the demands and why it is important for us during the UPSC preparation. Okay, so as it is based upon a scheme based protest, okay, so we will be it will be important for us in the GS2 paper in the polity and governance section. Okay, and apart from that, delimitation after 2027, again an editorial based on the census that is going to happen. Okay, so this editorial right now in the news because the first phase, actually 2026 census will be based on phases. Okay, the first phase have been started, so based on that only the delimitation, excuse me, delimitation article have been came into the news. We will see what the author is talking about, what is the exact meaning of delimitation, what are all the issues and its background. We will see. So again, it is important for us in the GS2 paper, polity and governance. Okay, then apart from that, the last and final topic will be for the day will be India and the European Union meet. So European Union Commission and European Council presidents are coming to India for the 26th January Republic Day celebration. It will not be just a ceremonial meet, it will be more than that. Okay, we are going to discuss the future relationships between India and European Union. Okay, so again it is important for us in a GS2 paper in the IR perspective. Here we will be talking about the free trade agreements and everything. Okay, see, the summit is yet to be done. So the final verdict and the final agenda of the meeting we will get once it is completed. Before that, this editorial is based on what could be betterment and what could be the dialogues between these two nations. Okay, so that is what we are going to see today. Okay, next we will quickly move to the first article, right to dignity. Okay, so I hope it is clearly visible for you, right? Okay, first we will see about the issue here. So in West Bengal, the ASHA and the Anganwadi workers are protesting for certain rights. Okay, their work environment is not that positive for them based upon the salary or based upon the allowances they are getting, or the working environment is not at all favorable for these workers. So if we see who are all the affected people, first one is ASHA workers and the second one is Anganwadi workers. Let's understand who are all these ASHA and Anganwadi workers. Okay, first is about Anganwadi. Okay, Anganwadi workers actually works under ICDS, Integrated Child Development Scheme. Under this they used to work. Okay, so initially this have been proposed for maintenance of the child nutrition. Okay, and they used to take care of lactating mothers and also pregnant women. Okay, and apart from that, early childhood education is also taken care. Okay, so this is work of Anganwadi workers. Okay, later on in the mid of 2000s, the another scheme workers have been announced, ASHA workers. Okay, so they will be in the primary health care centers. Okay, then they will be taking care of the immunization of people in the primary health care centers. Apart from that, they will be working for the maternal health. Okay, so maternal health is also taken care by them. generally a public primary healthcare center. They will be the grassroots grassroots level of healthcare. Okay, so these workers are facing certain issues based on their work nature. So earlier in 1970s, Anganwadi workers are not given the status of government employees. Till now, the current is same. Okay, the situation is same. They are not provided with the government employee status. Instead, they are given the volunteer or a scheme-based workers. So, what is the issue basically here? So, when if it is not coming under the government employees, okay, if they are not coming under government employees or any other proper statutory employees, it will be they won't be they cannot claim the benefits of what the government employees generally take. Okay, the minimum wages, okay, the pension, apart from that their working hours, okay, and many other things are not able to they cannot claim actually gratuity, job security, as it is a they termed it as a volunteer scheme workers. So it will be like there won't be any job security for them. So there is a problem for financial shocks for them. Okay, there is a huge problem in this. So these people are started protesting with the demand of their demand actually of recently they ask for 15,000 as their salary. Okay, 15,000 as salary, and apart from that the regulation, okay, the regulation measures, so that they will be always having this job security. Okay? Job security will be there for it. So this is a major concern they are here protesting for. So when we see the background, as I have told you, in 1970s they have termed as scheme workers and not provided with any other uh, labor code benefits. Okay, so eventually they have formed a union in 1989. Okay, so with the huge efforts and the persistent efforts, they have formed a union and they have proposed for proper job regulation and the security. But problem again, it is not mandated. Okay, in 2004 it have been discussed in the commission. Okay, they will be provided with job security, okay, minimum wages, and also pension scheme will also be given. So this was the promises that have been discussed, but it have never implemented. See, this article has mentioned certain government's name. Okay, so you should not take that government's name and all. Instead, we will be focusing on the actual issue, what they are actually going on. Okay. So when it comes to the issues they're right now facing us, one is they don't have proper salary, another thing is there is no proper work environment, and also they don't have any benefits, and there is no job security for them. As a volunteer, today they will call for the work and tomorrow they will say like we have fired you, you can go. So there is no job security for them. And here majorly the workers will be women. So women empowerment in the grassroots level is being challenged here. So we have to understand this. This article is talking about this only. Okay, I'll underline the certain things. Even see, National Union, okay, they have started in 1989. Okay, after the liberalization era also, even they have termed as a scheme workers only. Okay, so the expanded social schemes are not permanent government jobs for them. So even now we are focusing on the welfare schemes. Okay, if you see the Anganwadis, they will be having food and also education as a services. Okay, so we are keep on increasing the welfare schemes, but instead we are not focusing on the proper government jobs provided to them. There is no proper recognition for these workers. Okay, so this is a major issue that we are going through. As we have mentioned, like the 45th commission have been formed, but it have been only discussed and there is no implementation of those promises. Okay. Then apart from that, the new labor law also, the new labor codes also does not specify them as a government job. So if this is keep on persisting, then it won't be a very good working culture for women also in the grassroots level. Apart from that, certain sections of governance, okay, like healthcare, education, all these are a kind of a development based situations. Okay, so if we are not properly giving the attention or the recognition to these workers who are working under these uh, sections, so then it may slow down the growth also. Okay, so other thing we have to focus here is there is the fiscal shocks also. Still 2000 till 2015 it was going good for them, even though if it is not a proper and a fixed wages, there is very lower wages, but still till 2015 it was going okay only. But later on, when the government have been started uh, the fund cuts, okay, so they stopped giving much funds to ICDS, the Integrated Child Development Scheme. The funding to this scheme have been reduced, so that these workers also getting affected because of this less funded. Okay, once the center has stopped giving the funds, it completely shifted the burden, the financial burden, to the state government. As you know, the public health comes under state list, so it is the state responsibility to take holistically for these their allowances and also their pensions. So here there is a interstate inequality also was happening. Okay, say, so in the states like Tamil Nadu or Kerala, who recently Kerala have claimed they have very less poverty rate, right? So these kind of states who are richer in the resources and who have rich financial background, they could provide proper and sustainable salaries to these kind of workers. But when it comes to certain backwarded states who are still under developing stage, okay, so these kind of states cannot give a proper salary to them that they actually deserve. So the problem here, when the center stopped the funding, okay, eventually what it happened, it transferred the hurdles and burden to states. Okay, so the states was keep on giving salaries and everything, but what states are also started to do excuse me, they also started to cut down the wages for them. Okay, so they are not getting even the nominal wages, the minimum, below the minimum wages they are actually receiving. So here the major important issue that we have to see is interstate inequality. Okay, so for our GS paper, interstate inequality, okay, the grassroots level workers environment, and apart from that we have to focus upon the governance and the policy gaps for the employees. Okay, then the healthcare sector, how it is working on. In the recent days we are able to see lots and lots of articles and the news is based on the healthcare, right? So when the first instant of the healthcare, the grassroots level workers doesn't have the motivation or any support to work, then what will happen to the higher and the secondary level of healthcare? That we have to keep in mind, no? So the interstate inequality, the federal issues in funding, okay, so these are have to be actually noticed and it have to be rectified soon. So this article basically talking about giving them the minimum wages, okay, and apart from that, it is their right to get a dignified work. So instead of asking for, keep on asking for the salaries or begging for the salaries, it is government's responsibility to give proper recognition to these workers so that they can work in the dignified manner. Okay, so this is what the first article is about. Just give a read. Okay. Just have a glance, nothing much. Okay. So ASHA workers and Anganwadi workers, they are actually facing a problem with the wages and they don't have proper job security. They are not a permanent government employees. Instead, they are still considered as volunteer or scheme based workers. What is the issue in this? They will not be getting proper wages. There won't be any job security. Okay. And they cannot claim any other gratuity or any other allowances from the government. So this is the major issue that we are facing here. Okay, so have a glance. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, we will move forward. Okay. Hope it is clearly visible for you. As I have told you, see the UPA and other government, NDA government. So these kind of things you should not reflect in your answers. Okay. So instead, you can use it as a then government. Okay. So that kind of statement you have to use in your answer sheet instead of getting it directly attacking on any other government. Okay. Shall we move on? Is it clear till now? Okay. Then here comes our second editorial based upon the delimitation. Okay. So here delimitation is mostly of delimitation. Most of us know what is delimitation, but again I'm telling you, the delimitation is nothing but we are redistributing the seats in the Lok Sabha and the state legislature. Okay. So based upon the population in that particular state or in that particular constituency, we are giving number of seats in Lok Sabha and also in the state legislature. So that is delimitation here. Okay. So we are going forward for the census very soon. Okay. But this article is talking about the nexus and the challenges in the delimitation, because earlier the population growth, the population and the fertility was more or less equal only, but later on it have been attained a very much unequal stage. Okay. So the states like northern states, they are not actually into the population control measures, but when we look into the states like southern and western states, they were actually into the fertility control and the population control measures. Post that, they were achieving the all sustainable and the development areas, development focused approach. Okay. So that was the problem why we didn't have proper delimitation. So you got to know what is delimitation. Actually redistributing the seats in the Lok Sabha and the state legislature. Okay. So why this article, that also we have seen. It is because of the census that is keep on coming. Okay. So the background is in 1976. That was the last, okay, when the delimitation has happened. Okay. After that, it have been freezed due to certain issues with the population control measures. Okay. At that time, it was aimed by then government. It's like we will be freezing this delimitation for some time. Once we attain the population stability, kind of equal population, okay, so that we will not be losing any seats unnecessarily in the parliament or the state legislature assemblies. Okay, so to secure all those seats, this measure have been taken. There we started freezing this delimitation process. If you see the data, at that time the population was around nearly 55 crores. Okay. Now, if you see, the population is around 147 crore nearly. Okay. So, this is the population difference, but still we are going with the older delimitation process only. So, this 543 seats in the Lok Sabha is still being followed now, which was earlier for nearly 55 crores and now it is 147 crore people. Okay, so this is what the major issue that we have right now. Okay, so why we need a delimitation? To represent the state's problem equally and with the proper solution have to be derived. Okay, so if you are representing your states or the constituency you belong to, if you are representing those problems, unifically you will be able to find a solution for that. Okay, so the center and the state will be working together based on the issues, and we will be resolving that, and we will be moving towards more of a development places. So that is why delimitation is very much important for us. As I said, in 1976 it was the last, and after that we have just freezed it. Okay, during 1976 we have freezed it, and we were completely going through with that census only since sorry, till now. Okay, so the issues with delimitation, that also we have seen. Okay, majorly it is of unequal distribution. If in the delimitation process, if it is positively ratified, then it will be a very good development program. Okay, how it is? Because every state will be having equal representation. Okay, so the problems will be easily addressed and it will be resolved on time. But and the proportion of the issue resolvents will be equal. But when it comes to certain areas, when it is unequal distribution of seats and unequal distribution of the representation, like Sikkim kind of place, they have only one seat. Okay, but if you compare it with UP has a lot of seats. Okay, so nearly 42 seats they have. So these kind of differences may address major problem of this huge populated areas instead of the problems of Sikkim. So that is why it is telling, this article is giving certain solutions. Okay, maybe a suggestions for time being. So like kind of a freezing this, extending this freezed census. Okay, so don't do the limitation right now, let it continue for some more time also. Okay, apart from that, it is, the article is discussing about giving the federal structure for Rajya Sabha. Even they are giving the suggestion for bifurcating UP. Okay, already UP have been divided. Okay, that from where it have been given the Uttarakhand state, right? So again, this article is talking about those measures like this. Okay, bifurcating UP or giving the weightage for population. Don't get into the delimitation only through population basis only. Along with population basis, you can go for this. Along with that, you can go for this. Along with this, you can go for 20% of development focus also, so that the states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, who have controlled their population, and those who have limited population right now, they will also be represented properly. Okay, so that is what this the whole article is about. Okay, even though Amit Shah, Union Minister Amit Shah have told that there won't be any seat will be reduced in the southern state, but the actual thing, either of the way, it will be altering the seats and it will be giving the dominance to certain states who have large population. Okay, so if we are delimiting right now according to this particular population, because in India, the delimitation right now focusing only on population based. Okay, it is not proportionate based, it is completely on the population based. So the states who are having huge and high population, okay, so they will be getting more dominance than the states who have already did the welfare control. Okay, so they have moved towards, they have moved from these population control, and they have moved and achieved the most of sustainable development things right now. Okay, so here Union Minister Amit Shah stated, though he stated there won't be any problem for the southern states, but we will be either facing the issue with either they will be facing the issue with dominance of other states. Okay, certain particular states will be having the dominance, or else southern states will not be, even after this delimitation or phased kind of delimitation, southern states will be losing their seats in the Lok Sabha and state legislature accordingly. Okay, the comparatively to other northern states. Okay, then till now, is it clear? Do you have any doubt? Here it have been mentioned the data, we will be getting the data also here. Okay, so have a go through of this first, then we will move accordingly. Okay, it is actually a threat for federalism and the regional balance as well, it have been mentioned here. So the federalism and the um, so the federalism problem here comes when the most of the issues will be on the policy making. So it will not be even or equal distribution of policy making. Instead, it will be focused on one particular or any other particular states, and there will be a left out field for other states as well. So the smaller states will be feeling that left out feeling. Okay. So I have discussed about 84th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so that have extended the freeze. We have again started, and it will be having problem of unequal distribution. Okay, so let the article come. Just give us a second. Okay, till then, so if we see what is the actual issue, it will be the women representation also will be less. Okay, the 33 percentage of women representation that we actually planning for, it will be delayed if there is any delimitation process, because uh, delimitation process through these filtered ways. Okay, so there will be after this filtered or a delayed process. Now we are taking to 2027, we are taking the count. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so resuming on, so if we are delimiting the states, okay, so the issues will be mostly of either we will be giving, okay, okay, so the problem will be of first one, unequal distribution. Okay, unequal distribution. Okay, there will be not much limited seats, it will be unequal seats distribution. Okay, then we will be having the issues of federal structure, the interstate problem recognition, and also the interstate issues resolution will be having a huge problem. Okay, and apart from that, we will be having one more issue, that is of the real outcome of the growth. Okay, so for that, what we have to do, if we keep on delimiting, then either Lok Sabha seat have to be increased. Okay, it will go up to 888 seats. Okay, so that is not actually feasible. Here, if we move to 888 seats, then also it will be like some states like UP will be having 80 to 151 seats. Okay, post that, certain states like Bihar also will be having 40 to 82 seats for them. But when it comes to Sikkim, already it is only one. So we will be having 5 to 10 seats only. Okay, so again, it is like the number of seats, even though despite the number of seats are being increased in the Lok Sabha, still we are able to see this inequality in the distribution of seats. So what we can do, what the article is asking about us, asking us to do is, instead of going for, okay, instead of going for complete, instead of going for complete delimitation, whether we can go for the phased delimitation. Okay, so first one will be of 2026. We will be having all these questionnaire based. Okay, first phase and the second phase will be given, so that it will not be all of a sudden, it will not be a political shock for any regional parties, and also it will not be a political shock for the Lok Sabha also to get this delimitation process. There will be a smooth conduct of politics, and there will be a proper recognition of the state's issues. Okay, and the second thing is about, it is not only about the seat and the issues resolving. Okay, it is also about the regional parties representation. Okay, so if the areas like UP and Bihar, if they have large population, the political ideas, okay, and also the ideas that has been followed, or the policy making will be unilateral instead of being diversified. Okay, so we need a diversified policy making also, considering all other states, because India having a huge diversity. Okay, so considering that, we need proper representation of this. So there are 6 solutions that have been given by the author. Okay, first one, it may be like we have to take a pause again, we have to extend this freeze era of this census and delimitation. So right now we should not go for delimitation. This is the first one. Second one is all about giving increasing the number of seats in Lok Sabha, okay, and the state legislature also. So in case if we are giving the more seats, so we can get the more representation. And third one is about we are going for the phased delimitation, and phase 1 will be for 2-3 there will be gap between 5 to 6 years between this phase 1 and phase 2, so that we can do. And one more thing is, the House of People of Rajya Sabha can be more federalized. So the domicile condition has to be restored. Like, if I am coming from Tamil Nadu, then I have to represent Tamil Nadu only. But earlier it was like that. Now, if I am from Tamil Nadu, still I can be a candidate for Kerala or UP or Bihar. So I can anywhere, I can represent any other state also. So instead of that, we can go for the domicile based, so that actual issues of those states will be addressed properly, and along with that, we can increase much seats in Rajya Sabha also. And this author is talking about comparing with US ideologies also. So US, irrespective of the size, irrespective of the population, they usually give the equal recognition, okay, in the legislature. So the same thing author is telling here, but with a different approach. We can give 3-tier different approach. Okay, so the first one is the large cities, those who have large population can give 10 to 15 seats, and the medium states will be having 10 seats, and the smaller and the micro states will be having 5 more seats. So if it is allocating like this, we will be having a proportionate representation. So that is what given by this author. Okay, so if we are doing this, what would be the another issue here is, the another issue here will be so, as the author mentioned, if we go for delayed or a freezed delimitation, again it will slow down our process. Again, the women representation of the ideal amount 33% will be delayed. See, the women representation is less, and it is yet to be recognized with the delimitation, because now women empowerment is more. Okay, so the more we recognize them, we would be able to achieve it very soon. Okay, so the article is talking about this delimitation problem only. Then we can do one more thing is like we can go for central and state representation based upon the proportion. Okay. Apart from that, there should be some changes in the political ideologies, and there should be the commission, the delimitation commission should have different parties who's very much expert in the demographic ideas, and the commission should have the experts based upon the state issues. Okay. And apart from that, interstate relations experts should be there. Then there should be experts from areas where we will be able to get this proper constitutional ideas also. So there should be constitutional expert also. Okay. The demography expert and also other experts in the commission should be presented. Okay. Then he also says about the SC and ST issues. So when it comes to SC, it is a discretionary power, okay, for the commission to give the representation for the states reserved for scheduled caste people. But in nature, this article is giving the suggestion it should go for ST based approach, where it should not be discretionary, it have to be reserved for scheduled class people. So scheduled class reserved constituencies. Okay. So this article is based upon this only. Here we will be focusing upon the delimitation, what was the background, okay, why it have been freezed, why we didn't we are still going with the old census data only, and the delimitation process based on old data of census. Okay. And another thing is like, what is the article here? He have given 6 things, but we can practically speaking, it will take a lot of time, and it may slow down the growth also. The weightage approach is good, so that the 80% of population, the 20% of the growth ideas will be helping us. Okay. Moving on, let's move to the next article. Again, it is based upon the EU relationship. Okay. The India and EU relationship only. Okay. We are expecting on 26th January, we are expecting European Union Commission and European Council presidents to visit our country for Republic Day celebration. We use this this ceremonial meet for furthermore things, discussing the free trade agreement. Okay. So this free trade agreement, it is not just going to be based upon the tariffs alone. This will be discussed along with the security and the defense cooperation and the defense equipments collaboration also here. So we are going to focus on 3 different things. One is free trade agreement, and apart from that, we are going to check about the security and the defense things also. Okay. So if you see EU and India, there are some similarities. Like EU has a they also have the problem of dependency, just like we used to do with US. US is a huge market for us. Okay. And apart from that, we majorly depend upon US for certain defense equipments and other things also we used to in line with US. The same thing what EU is doing, European nations are doing is, they are slightly depend upon the Russian gas and also the China. Okay. So now both the countries are in the same situation, that we should not depend upon much on anybody. Instead, we have to go for multilateralism. Okay. So the China's assertiveness have been pushed EU, and US tariffs have pushed India towards this condition. Okay. So this article is completely based upon the opinion. Okay. What the free trade agreement, which is it is still like an episodic movement, like it is keep on going, but there is no proper conclusion, or there is no proper signatory for this free trade agreement, because EU and India have free trade the trade agreements based upon lot of nexus. First thing is the carbon emission. The products that India is giving to EU is basically of like cement and steel. Okay. So these kind of products that we are giving into the European market, which actually emits a lot of carbon, they are putting a blind over there. They are drawing a line. So these kind of products should not be there. So the major problem comes there, and apart from that, they are putting 20%, nearly 20% tariffs for this carbon emission product. So if we get any reduction in this tariff, so we could be able to go on with a better economy and also the cooperation. So the security and the defense also we will be collaborating in the we will be collaborating with security and the defense mechanism, and apart from that, joint exercise also will be done, so that we would be able to combat the China's aggression in Indian Ocean region. Okay, we are able to stabilize it with EU's defense mechanism also. Okay, and what we are getting from EU is automobile industry products. Okay, the machineries. So these kind of things we are getting from EU. So if we get any relaxations in these kind of trades, this will help us having a long term and a bifurcated basket approach. Okay, so we don't want to depend on anybody here. Along with strategic autonomy, we would be able to attain strategic patience also, so that we will be not depending on one particular country or two particular country. Instead, we will be growing towards growth. Okay, so this is what the major thing that have been discussed here. Once the meat is done, then we will be getting the proper idea about it. Okay, before that we are not getting into too much technicalities. Just you have to keep one thing in mind: EU and India is rightly in a equal situation. A dependence over one country is making it too harsh for it to grow. Okay, the first thing. Second thing is like we are in a episodic or a continuation dialogues only. It has not been ratified yet with the proper resolutions in the meetings. Okay, so the free trade agreements should attain the final decision this time at least, so that we will be having a growth oriented approach with the collaboration. Okay, and the third thing we have to realize here is the potential that we have to build inside us. Okay, so the Europe has to give the potential, provide the potential that they have, and India also should provide the potential, like Make in India program. Okay, um, Make in India, this kind of initiatives will be bringing India with a manufacturing hub, where we will be able to give sectors like we will be getting manufacturing hubs and the technicalities from these EU, and also we will be giving back the IT sector services. So we will be giving we will be in a win-win situation, and there will be a multipolarism. Okay, so this article is based upon that only. So this is for the day. Just have a glance about these articles, but we have to focus mostly on the ASHA and Anganwadi workers, because it is based upon the society paper and also GS2 paper also. These are basically of, this is basically of IR. So we have to wait unless and until this meet is completed. Okay, so that we will able to get the real outcome. And apart from that, we have to read the delimitation process article in the essence of what the background. Okay, what could be the problems that it will be facing, and the solutions that the suggestions that are given by the author are more or less okay, but analytically we have to work on that. Okay, so that's it for the day. We will meet soon again. All the very best. Thank you for joining the session. Thank you.